Okay, now that foie gras is legal back in California, I decided it was time to call D'Artagnan and get in some stuff to play with. So let's play with the foie gras cubes. With it, I'm going to see how many dishes I can make. Pasta dish, risotto dish. Burgers. Duck burgers. An appetizer with white nectarines. A pork loin, and then I'm going to show you how to scrape the package and use it. Let's start with our first thing, linguine and foie gras. There's our ingredients. And I'm going to start by bringing my water to a boil. Cut the garlic, shallots or shallots, whatever you want, leeks. Get our pasta ready to go in the water. Take some small pieces of foie gras and cut them, because this is for a pasta dish. A little bit of butter. Butter goes into a pan. Garlic, shallots, leeks, and I'm going to cut up some mushrooms. Stir our pasta, stir up the dish, add the mushrooms, a little touch of white wine, and now our foie gras. Water comes off, pasta gets drained, a little bit of salt, sea salt, some black pepper, and some Rick Chef salt. When the foie gras is nice and tender, hardly cooked at all, we're done. We're going to add our pasta and stir that all in. And then give it a taste and add a little salt if it needs it. And et voila! Linguine with foie gras and mushrooms. Fantastic. Next, risotto cakes with asparagus and foie gras. Start the butter in the pan. Add some asparagus. I'm using really small asparagus this time. Rick Chef salt, and now we're going to form our risotto cakes into kind of hamburger-sized patties. A little cracked black pepper on top. When your asparagus is done the way you like it, pull it off, and let's start the risotto cakes. While those are cooking, we're going to cut our foie gras into the slices that we want. Arrange our asparagus on the plate. When we flipped the risotto and got it about halfway done, we're going to put in the foie gras, a little bit of salt, cracked black pepper, and Rick Chef salt. Now, you don't want to cook this too long, so we're just going to cook it very quickly, and as soon as they're done, we're going to take them and put them on top of the risotto cakes so they don't continue to cook, but let the risotto cakes continue to soak up the foie gras fat, because that's what's so good. And on the plate it goes. Don't forget about the juices. We're going to want to add a little salt to those. And et voila, risotto cakes and foie gras. Number 3, duck and foie gras burgers. Now from Maple Leaf Farms, I'm getting some ground duck. I'm going to start by putting a little of Rick Chef salt in the pan, adding my burger patties, putting a little aioli on my buns, slicing my tomatoes, slicing my foie gras, a little bit of red onion, and as soon as we start flipping those burgers, we're going to add the red onion there too. As soon as the red onion's done, take it off, and now we're going to put in the foie gras. And here again, we don't want to cook this very long. We're cooking it on a fairly high heat. We're going to turn them over quickly, and then we're going to start making our burgers because they're ready. Lettuce, tomatoes, little Rick Chef salt, onion, burgers, and then of course the foie gras on top. Oh la la, this is one of my absolute favorites, and you can use all kinds of meats for this, but there you go. Duck burgers with foie gras. It's also good with venison and bison. Fantastic. Okay, dish number 4. White nectarine and foie gras crostini. There's nothing like white nectarine and foie gras. We're going to make some croutons and toast those nice and brown. Now, very important, white nectarine has to be very sweet. So you want to pick out the best smelling nectarine you can, and we're going to cut those into slices. Start on a high heat. Put our nectarine in the pan and sprinkle it with a little bit of Rick Chef salt. Now we're going to take our foie gras and we're going to put it in. And here again, we're not cooking this very long. We're cooking it on a high heat, and we want to get those nectarine pieces just barely soft, and same with the foie gras. So as soon as we get those in, we're going to start turning them, and we're going to turn our nectarine pieces and put the foie gras again back on top of the nectarine pieces so that we don't continue to cook those very long. And then, very simply, on top of the crostini they go. And don't forget the pan juices. A little salt, Rick Chef salt, and some black pepper, and on top of the crostini that goes. And oh man, these are just like the absolute best as far as I'm concerned. You can use all kinds of fruit for this. Okay, number 5, pork loin with white nectarine and foie gras. This time I'm going to take the white nectarines and I'll put them in a food processor and I'm going to puree them. To that I'm going to add Rick Chef salt, a little sea salt, and some minced garlic. Not a lot, just a little bit. Then I'm going to add some white wine just to loosen it up a bit. And now we're going to take my pork loin, put it in the pan. While that's cooking, strain off that mixture I just made. And the pork loin is ready, and we're just warming these. We're going to add the foie gras. Here again, notice my pan is hot. Stir them up a little bit, and these are going to cook up very quickly. As soon as they're done, on top of the pork loin they go. Now we're going to take our mixture and pour that in. Mix it up real good and season it. Be sure and taste it. A little bit of salt, some cracked black pepper, and on the plate it goes. I happen to be serving this with some gnocchi with black truffle and some broccoli with aioli. You'll see those in videos later on. That is so good though, we end up cleaning our plates. Number 6, duck and foie gras burgers number 2. Okay, this I wanted to get rid of the packaging. Foie gras sticks to the packaging, so I want to scrape all this stuff off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it in to my ground duck meat. And here again, you can use venison, you can use bison, all kinds of things. But this just gives the duck meat just a fantastic flavor. Any oils you happen to have left over, add those in also. Rick Chef salt, sea salt, cracked black pepper. Mix it all up, and again, on a nice warm griddle, it goes. Now you notice that the fat starts seeping from the burgers as they're cooking. We don't want to lose that. That's very important. What we're going to do is we're going to take our burger buns and we're going to roll those in that fat. Instead of using a mayonnaise or aioli or something like that, we're going to use that fat from the foie gras. And this is just going to add incredible flavor to your dish. Now, the onion goes down, and here again, the red onions are going to pick up the fat flavor. Now I'm going to toast the bottom buns first. Get those onions nice and ready to go. Take off, see how nice and toasty those are? Flip the burgers. Cheese them, if you want cheese. I'm using white cheddar on this one. Now start my burgers because we're ready to go. Tomatoes, little Rick Chef salt for seasoning. The burger, the onion, and et voila, beautiful duck burgers seasoned with the foie gras packaging. No waste here. Absolutely fantastic. Hope you enjoyed this.